for the disclaimer for every episode of Always Angelic Aspie Alice?
Yes, at Always Angelic Aspie Alice, we value the lived experiences of those that identify as neurodiverse, autistic, chronically pained, have mental health conditions, that identify with different pronouns, culture, backgrounds, sexuality, and so on.
We appreciate and acknowledge lived experiences as vital to the wonderland of Always Angelic Aspie Alice.
However, our experiences may be different from those who have different experiences, and our advice, experience, stories, personal mantras, etc. do not replace medical or diagnostic information.
We are not therapists, counsellors, or doctors. However, we hope you find another episode of Always Angelic Aspie Alice helpful.
We welcome everybody to be, live, thrive, and belong as different, not less. Hi, George.
Hello! Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
That's good, yeah.
So,
sorry.
I'm sorry. So sorry. Hi.
Yes, what were you going to say?
I was wondering what the subject for today's episode was. I'm sorry, I made that so awkward.
That's okay. I thought I was the one making it awkward. Today it's about 4 good days, so it's about any context in our life, past or present, about having 4 good days or looking forward to 4 good days, and also we're going to talk about the movie 4 Good Days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think I've actually heard of that particular movie, but I'd be interested to know the premise.
Yeah, so I can tell you it briefly. It's been a while since I watched it. It's called 4 Good Days. It was on Netflix. I watched it last year. It's basically about a drug addict who is trying to stay clean for 4 good days in order to get into this really good quality rehab facility, I've heard, and she's able to basically start her life over and kind of start her life again and kind of have a new beginning. But in the end, well, all these things happen, and it's really good. It's got do you know the actress Mila Kunis?
Yes, Mila Kunis, yes. And I'm just also searching it up to give myself a bit of additional information as well. Glenn Close apparently is also in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it looks interesting. It doesn't look like it's going to be an absolute masterpiece, but it does look kind of interesting at least, you know.
Yeah, it's how to explain it. It was very real and raw. Like, it made me cry. Like, I could really relate to the main character, and I forgot her name.
Oh.
But I really related to a lot of it. It's like I like movies that make you question things, that make you feel something, because often I don't. So I like those things when they do.
Fair enough. I've had that a few times in my own movie watching experiences. I would say The Pursuit of Happiness, The Elephant Man, The Green Mile, Schindler's List, all in different ways. But they definitely... I'm not usually someone who cries in movies. I get, I feel for the characters, sure. I feel, oh no, I'm worried or I'm anxious or whatever. But it takes a lot to make me cry in a film. And those 4 films did that, I think.
Yeah, that's okay as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was wondering if you wanted, like, maybe start the conversation, because I'm like so sensory overloaded because I worked on an assignment today and it was full on. Oh. I was wondering if we could talk about maybe an experience you've had where you were looking forward to 4 good days, or you wanted to have 4 good days, or you were in a day where it was one of the 4 good days.
I don't know if this is too pessimistic, but I'm a little surprised 4 good days in a row could exist sometimes. But let's say they do, and they probably do. It's like, I kind of think if 4 good days could exist in a row, it's like I got to kind of learn that bad things can happen on those days, but good things can outweigh the bad things sometimes, I guess. Maybe it's a bit of a rush, maybe you're just a little late to a meeting, but when you get to that meeting of people, it's like, it's great after all, Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah, it's like, I don't quite know how to describe it, but if I yeah, sometimes I even panic, like, oh shit, I'm gonna be late, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get to the shower by this time before the day, because obviously you gotta, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And like recently, I can give you a life context. Basically, last week I had to have a washout period, which means no medication at all
Mm-hmm.
in the medication that I was taking, and I had to just have 4 or 5 good days. Basically, by the fourth day of like waiting, it was getting really bad, and then like I literally had a couple more days before I could like start another one, and just hopefully that would help me. And I just hated the waiting period, and especially when it was like just 3 or 4 more days, that was killing me. Like I hate waiting, and I hate not being able to do anything. But when you're in a washout period, you can't take any medication of the medication you're not like allowed to take. Like you have to have a full out break, which took a good break because I needed a break for my brain because it's very full on sometimes. But like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I definitely was looking forward to like starting all over again and just like starting another like medication, I guess. But like I hate waiting sometimes.
It's like, yeah, this thing already, because it's like, I guess, I don't know if it's like this for you, but sometimes I think, well, yeah, it's like this thing. I can't. I'm sort of anxious. I'm really looking forward to it, but it's like, come along already. It's like I want
Mm-hmm.
times. It's like, oh, I got to do this thing before, and it's great, because it's like you get to do this thing, and then you get to do the thing that you really wanted, because obviously, say you gotta like eat some breakfast or something or lunch, and you
Mm-hmm.
leave it a bit too late, and you're like, okay, it's probably good this is a 3 after all. For example,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like the other day, this isn't even a good example. It's just like it's a funny example. I ordered some clothing with standard shipping, and I know it's not a big deal, but like I hated the waiting time of when is it going to come? I want to try it on. I want to see if it fits me, if I have to return it. you know?
Fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that actually reminded me of clothing stores. There was this really good one. There is this really good one in Melbourne,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't remember the name of it at the moment. I think it'll come up soon if I maybe uh, what was the thing? Clothing store. It was a clothing store certainly, and I'm not like a fashionista or anything. I'm not really
Mm-hmm.
into fashion that much myself, but Dangerfield, that's what it was called. You go
Oh
into a
yeah.
Dangerfield and it's amazing. They truly
Mm-hmm.
have an amazing selection of clothes for like all body types, all sizes, everything. It's just amazing.
Actually, they are because I actually have shopped there before. I bought a iridescent skirt and like a red cardigan and a black Wednesday type dress and these weird stockings and then these weird socks that wouldn't fit me properly.
Hmm.
Um, they do have good stuff, but like a lot of the stuff is like super expensive.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess it's like sometimes it's like not really a fashion example in this case, but sometimes I avoid the stores that I know sell DVDs and Blu-rays as much as I love them, because I just know that I'm going to walk out of there and be like, well, I think I bought one too many for my budget this week.
Hmm.
And I'll have some money left, but then I'm like, just slightly less than I wanted.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And
There's a bit of trouble
yeah.
with budgeting sometimes. Sorry.
Oh, me too. Like this month, I spent like $500 more than what I needed to, but I'm like, I needed clothing because I don't have a lot. And also winter, I need to layer because last year I didn't layer properly and I got really cold.
Mm. And
Mm.
that's the thing about winter. It's like I always thought that the heating in summer, it's like the heating's on all the bloody time. It's like you can't even
Mhm.
control it, and I hate it. And
Mhm.
then winter, it's funny because it's like I can rug up and not use electricity, and it's I kind of like the cold way better than I do the hot. You know.
Yeah, actually, your perspective is similar to mine. I used to be like the other way around. I love summer, hated winter. Now I'm like I really like winter because I can actually control how much clothing I put on, how much sensory stuff I put on my body or my skin, and kind of controlling that a lot. Whereas summer, if it gets too hot, I freak out.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, for example, with my budgeting, because like, I mean, I sort of had a rough budget because I know I was going to go over my budget, but like basically, for like winter clothing especially, and especially clothing for when I have my period, because that gets just uncomfortable. I basically went to the op shop a lot. Like, there's an op shop called Lifeline, and there's one near my house at the shops, and I go there a lot. And why I go there a lot is because all the proceeds go to suicide prevention, which I think is really something that I have like my own heart invested in, because I know like how mental health can be really yucky at times and stuff, and I just like when my money, especially when it goes like towards clothing and stuff that's a bit material, when it goes towards a good cause, I feel a lot less guilty.
I mean, like it's fine to buy clothing. I mean, everyone needs clothing, right?
Yeah,
Or I
otherwise I'd
guess maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't make everyone's statement. I typically shy away from making everyone's statements.
be,
But I just mean, yeah, many people need clothing unless you're in a commune or something, and that's fine too.
yeah. I, I was gonna say, yeah, I need clothing, otherwise I'd be naked, and that's not good. It's illegal. So yeah. But in seriousness, I can't not be naked. Like I have to wear clothing, and like also I do buy a lot of my clothing from Supre, and it's like a well-known girls or women's store. Like it's like a chain store in Australia, but actually a lot of the clothing goes towards their own charity called Supre Foundation, and a lot of their clothing is actually recycled, even if it's not part of their charity, which I think it's pretty good considering I needed to buy a lot of their stuff, and also their leggings and pants and tops are kind of really comfortable, especially because I'm really picky with like the sensory fabric. It has to be comfortable.
It's like me with blankets sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
since it's audio only, I just like I can like sit up on a chair in my room or something. I don't even have to worry about a good backdrop. It's audio only.
Yeah, me too. And like I'm all rugged up. I'm actually wearing like a jumper from when I was about 7 or 10, and it still fits because it's like it's a little bit large anyway. Like it's like an oversized fit, but it's like super cute. It's like the Saddle Club.
Yeah, I'm
Saddle
vaguely
Club.
aware of it. I had a cousin who I know liked it.
Yeah, I'm wearing that under stuff because I'm like it's really cold. But it's just yeah, I like rugging up, and I never used to do that, but now I am, and I really don't mind the layered look. Also, I'm into Twilight core, if that's the thing. Like, do you know the clothing from Twilight, like the theme?
I watched the first Twilight and quite hated the film, but I'm trying to remember the clothing in it. No, I can't remember. Sorry.
It's like from what I know from social media, because it kind of blew up on social media at one point. It's like a lot of jeans, a lot of layering, a lot of like green, like like red, orange, kind of autumny colors, and maybe navy. It's lots of
Hmm,
layers. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm, yeah.
Sorry,
Mm.
I'm just feeling slightly awkward myself again. It's like I sometimes because I'm always like, oh, I'm trying not to speak over the other person, and I'm trying to let them say the whole thing. Of course, of course. But then I'm like, and then sometimes I feel like I accidentally leave silences. I'm like, yeah, yeah, that was a good point, and it is a good point. But it's just like, yeah, yeah.
I'm like that too. I hate when I feel so bad when I talk over the other person and then it's like recorded. I'm like, I can't turn back now.
Susanna, do it.
Yes.
There you
Hello.
are. There you are.
Hello.
Yeah. Whew.
Sorry, I was saying, I hate when I took over the person by accident because maybe I've had the same thought or something, and then like it's recorded, so like I can't edit it out of it because it's like two people talking at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the knock knock
Who's there?
interrupting person.
Interrupting person
Interrupting
who?
person says, "What?" It's not even my joke. I just thought it was funny.
Oh, I remember those ones from a long time ago. Also, do you know what rhymes with nakey nakey? I'm drinking a wakey wakey. It's a caffeine drink.
Nice. One drink I've always quite liked is the mogu drinks with the fruit chunks in them. They're like small bottles usually, but they have these fruit chunks in them, and they're lychee. I think there might
Ooh.
be Lychee or Mogu or something, and it might be at Woolworths or Coles somewhere. Or I guess here in Victoria they used to call Woolworths Safeway actually, but even then they've changed them to Woolworths now, and I'm like, I'm bloody Victorian, damn it! I got to call it Safeway. But
Oh,
then in Roselands in
wow.
Sydney, they always had this. They used to have this offshoot. I'm not sure if it's still there, in Centro Roselands shopping centre, but Food for Less, which basically just was Woolworths.
Wow. I didn't know that at all. I seriously didn't.
The more you know, I guess.
No.
The more you know, as the old American thing is to say.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, but that's really cool. We're actually at the end of this episode for this for this topic, but I guess if you want to do another like episode, we can do part 2 if you want.
Yeah, sure. I seem to remember you. I think in the message it was like, oh, we can record the episode in parts, and
Mhm.
it can be long. I like this free flow like this. I mean, it provides plenty of
Mhm.
content for one, and two, I'm just having so much fun that I didn't even realize it was just over 15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll record as many of
Oh, that's
these
all
as you
good.
want in a row. Honestly, I will.
Mhm. Cool, no worries. Okay, well, I'll see you on the other side.
See you on the other side, Venkman. Woo!
Okay, bye.